Today, I am working on memorizing a verse, Esther 4:14. And who knows but that you have come to your position for such a time like this. So Esther was a Jewish woman who lived under a very violent empire, and she hears about a plot to kill her people. But she's in a unique position because she has access to the king. And at the time, if you spoke to the king, then you could get killed right there on the spot. But her cousin Mordecai says to her, Esther, if you stay silent, then another solution might come. But who knows, maybe speaking up, maybe you were put in this position to have access to the king just to speak up. And so she, in that moment, has to choose between comfort or courage. And she decides to speak to the king, and miraculously, she saves her people. And I feel like that wrestle right now, in a time when, social media gives us so much access to what's happening in the world, where we struggle between, that comfort of taking care of your family and, there's so much stress. I'm coming off of a stressful weekend with kids stuff, family stuff, marriage stuff, and we're in our bubbles of work, life, family, and all the things that we grip onto that give us pressure. And then there's enough stress that comes alone with that, right? But then I look at what's happening in the world and I shift outward and I sort of look, my heart opens to what's going on outwardly, and especially the people of Iran right now who are protesting, and this is such a monumental moment in history. And it's ugly to share all the news that's happening. It's ugly to be talking about it and sharing those stories. And, all the friends I see at soccer practice and the other moms and people at work and colleagues. And, they know my work for wholeness and for leadership work. And yet, I'm posting constantly about this stuff. And I struggle and I get into a position of discomfort and fear and worry and questioning myself. Am I doing the wrong thing? My kids are saying, Mom, you're always on Instagram, focus on me. And, so you battle with that. But then I hear from God. I go to God and I hear from God, daughter, my daughter, I know how heavy family and work and everything feels. And I know you feel like you're taking risk constantly and all the time. And you felt like this since October 7th, especially since you started speaking out for Israel and fighting anti-Semitism since then. But stay on path and choose courage over comfort, for I am with you. And I go to Esther and I go to this verse, and that's what I'm working on today.